So this is what Ferro Concepts considered the Carry Cummerbund. It is a 4-inch tall strip of elastic, two-sided, two pieces, stitched together with pockets. So there are individual pockets with bottom loops. They hold magazines, radios, med packs, that kind of thing wonderfully. That's a fair bit of force. I can only stretch that so far. It takes a lot of, relatively speaking, a lot of effort to stretch that. I mean, so that's about as hard as I can pull. I can maybe get a little further than that if I'm, willing to really push it. So you get an idea, right? Now we're going to do that with the 3-inch standard elastic cummerbund. And you'll see why one may work a little better for those of us that need a little more adaptability than others, shall we say. So in comparison, minimal effort until I get to the end of the stretch range of the Velcro. And I mean, you can see how much further that is. I'm not there. I'm just kind of out of room of my arms. So that's about it. That's about as far as it goes. But you can see that basically the Velcro length, or the elastic area is about doubling in length with relatively consistent and minor effort. It doesn't get massively harder. As I keep pulling, it gets a little harder, but it's not a massive increase in resistance. So I can go there, I can go there, I can go there in order to make it fit and have a comfortable pull against my body without it being then so snug that when I move or breathe, it restricts my breathing significantly. Now, I will say that this doesn't give you any storage. That's it. You get what you get, right? They do make a 3-inch assault cummerbund that has some molly space. The pull tab loops may not make all that noise. And is a rigid design, or at least more rigid vertically, for load bearing. I need you to go click subscribe and a thumbs up. And then I want you to go to another video and do another thumbs up. And then go find some other poor YouTube sob and do it to him too, or her. We need the help. YouTube does not like firearms channels. It does not like anything that shows guns, ammo, magazines, shooting at any kind. They just don't. So do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Every little bit of help you can give us with the YouTube algorithm goes a long way in keeping channels like this and some of the more entertaining oriented firearms channels going. Give us a hand. Thank you. Love you. Ciao, guys. So I will say the biggest difference from my perspective as just wearing it is I don't feel that graduated tension the same. When I wore the other one, if I wore it snug enough that it didn't, if I move around, it didn't feel like it was trying to shift out from under me. The other one was always too tight to do that. The total tension involved seemed too high. This, I almost feel like it's not enough tension, but then when I move, it's okay. Because it's pulling enough, but then as I breathe, it keeps with me, it stays with me. So I really think this is going to be the answer for me. This got exhausting quickly. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have asthma, and my asthma is not the acute attack kind. I operate on the equivalent of one lung. Both lungs are working, they're just working at 50% capacity. On a really good day, month, week, I might be up to 65%. That's doing well for me. So, for all you guys who are super athletic and long distance runners and everything, go do that in a restricted gas mask. and get back to me about things that restricting your breathing. That's what I deal with day to day, and I'm not uncommon. Like this isn't a pity me. There's lots of us. We just don't join the military. We don't necessarily get into SWAT. And part of that issue is learning to not restrict your breathing. Not have this pressed in so tight that our lungs have to work harder. We've already got to work harder. You don't want to limit that. And if you are somebody who's prone to acute asthma attacks, if you have breathing issues where it does get worse if you restrict it, something like this will work much better than something like this. This is going to set off your asthma. If you have acute asthma, this is going to set it off. This might, I don't know how severe your situation is, but if you are somebody where you have exercise-induced asthma, but you still want a plate carrier, you still want protection, my advice is to look at the lightest plates you can, the lightest plate carrier you can, minimize how much gear you put on it, and go with the most stretchy cummerbund you can get. That will help you out. Don't deny your physical limitations when picking gear. Pick gear that does the least amount of problems, that causes the least amount of issues with your conditions, because everybody's different. Picking gear that the high-speed guys use, well, they're in the peak of physical perfection. All of their accumulated injuries, aside, they are the peak. They're the guys who made it through selection after selection after selection. Don't forget that. It's why we respect them so much. It's why we look at them as that ideal that, yeah, they're the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. At each step of the way, 90+% dropped out, right? Well, we're not those guys. We're just not. So don't look at their gear and go, well, that's the right thing for me. Very often, their gear is a compromise. They can deal with the downsides because of their physical condition. They're saying, I really need this level of protection because I'm going into that horrible situation and I can handle the extra weight, the extra restriction. I'm physically capable enough to deal with that without the trade-off being a negative. So, quick side note, I'm most of the way done editing this video, and I am reminded of how much you learn over time working with this stuff. My current rig with plates weighs less than my first couple setups did without plates. No joke. My first setup, the plate carrier itself was probably 3 pounds, maybe more. It had so much gear on it, plus the big heavier cummerbund. I mean, it was much bigger, much heavier, much more complicated. Could not get it on and off, in less than about a minute and a half. Compared to the current setup, one of the reasons my back plate hangs down so far is because this way I could throw it on quickly. I also leave it set up to fit over a light jacket or a hoodie or something like that. But like this is literally sized so I can throw it on quickly. Anything smaller, tighter, for the back plate to be higher, I can't get my head through quickly. But just the weight really struck me. It is so much lighter, so much easier to move in. The longer I go, the less I'm like, you know what, I need this, I need this, I need this. You really don't. Or it can be in a backpack. It can be, in some other container. So, for me, I don't think I'm ever going to need all 3 mags. I don't think I'm going to need 2. If I'm being honest with myself, I don't think I'm ever going to need any of this. The odds are slim. I don't ever think I'm going to need the fire insurance for my place either. But I have it. So I'm not saying don't get the gear. I'm saying being realistic about what your needs are, what your limitations are, and the balancing point of most value from the gear with the fewest limitations that hurt you. Ooh. I will just point out that the extra elasticity and the change in feel almost had me land on my ass there. I had dropped one of the other cummerbund pieces and went down, leaned down to pick it up. Yeah, this just feels different, and it threw my balance off because I wasn't used to how it felt. It wasn't that it moved wrong, it just felt different, and my body reacted a little differently. So you got to wear your stuff and move around. Do house cleaning. Best advice, because I mean it is one of the things I do with it. Wear your gear, and clean your house, your apartment, your condo, whatever it is. Just do house chores, because that's going to make you do a wide variety of activities. You're going to lean down, you're going to kneel down, you're going to twist, you're going to turn, you're going to pick stuff up, you're going to be moving around, and you're going to start doing it without paying attention to your gear. And then you're going to figure out where your gear gets in the way. Do you bump into things? You'll learn to avoid them. Is leaning over a problem? Figure it out. Do you have to change how you lean down? Do you need to strengthen certain muscles more than others? Do you just need to do it differently? Does your gear chafe when you start moving in it? So anyway, ciao guys.